I want you to think of the millions of people, including members of our armed forces, who have raised their right hand and said, "I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God." How does anyone who has taken this vow in our United States of America, elected officials especially, reconcile this with the violations that have been committed against our Constitution, and what those violations have done and are doing to America with effects for generations to come?
Let us consider some of these violations. In full view of the public, let the record be made. Let all hear the facts, and the facts are these. The Constitution of the United States has been violated over many administrations across all branches and by both parties. Each and every violation of the Constitution has a devastating effect and an undermining effect on our economy, our people, our families, our way of life, our national reputation, our prosperity, our future. For decades, our government has been meddling in the internal affairs of other countries without any constitutional authority whatsoever, causing foreign nationals to direct their hostilities towards us, which has given us a war on terror and a growing police state that is repugnant to the Fourth Amendment and the general welfare of a free people. For decades, we have had undeclared wars in violation of the war powers clauses of Articles 1 and 2. We are now gifting and lending public money and credit to private corporations for decidedly private purposes without any constitutional authority whatsoever. We have a fiat currency in violation of the money clauses of Article 1. We have been emitting trillions of dollars worth of bills of credit through or under the auspices of the Federal Reserve System in violation of Article 1. We have been incurring trillions of dollars worth of debt for the payment of expenditures for programs and activities that are not enumerated in Article 1 and therefore not authorized. We have a fraudulently ratified 16th Amendment in violation of Article 5, a direct unapportioned tax on labor in violation of the tax clauses of Article 1, and a judicial system that refuses to consider the evidence in violation of Article 3. For decades, we have had unenforced immigration laws in violation of that mandate, plainly worded in Article 2 that requires the President to faithfully execute all the laws passed by Congress. We have a President whose father was not an American citizen in violation of Article 2. We are counting our votes in secret, as all machines do, in violation of our constitutional right not only to vote, but to know that our votes are being accurately counted. We have an absence of well-regulated state militias, and we have federal gun control laws, all in violation of the Second Amendment. For decades, in violation of the sovereignty clauses of the Declaration of Independence, the United States has been entering into treaties, contracts, and relationships with foreign entities and giving authority to international bodies, dissipating, destroying, and undermining America's sovereignty. We have private land being taken for private purposes in violation of the Fifth Amendment. We have a government about to become a provider of health care and about to order the people of America to purchase a product, powers that are not enumerated in Article 1 and therefore not authorized. We have money bills originating in the Senate and in the Federal Reserve in violation of Article 1. We have a Senate that is using a supermajority vote to decide whether to enact a law without an amendment to the Constitution, all in violation of Article 1, Sections 3 and 5 and Article 5. These violations have challenged the constitutional republic of the United States and her people to its core.
First, the delegates of Continental Congress, and now Americans from each of our 50 states, are signing the Articles of Freedom Pledge in an effort to see if there are millions of us who are ready to take our stand. The pledge signifies the belief that for decades and over many administrations, both political parties have been violating the Constitution and the states have acquiesced, and that the Articles of Freedom should be served on key elected officials in the federal government and all 50 state governments, and that the federal and state officials should comply with the remedial instructions designed to put an end to the violations and restore constitutional governance. And if the government officials refuse to comply, the people shall engage in a nationwide, well-organized, proactive, non-violent series of civic actions, including economic sanctions if necessary, to peaceably procure the relief they are entitled to under our system of governance. Today, we have the opportunity to take the pledge together here and across America. I will read it for you and then line it, and hopefully you will repeat it with me. In full view of my Creator as my witness, I hereby pledge to join with millions of Americans to hold our elected and appointed officials accountable to their oath of office, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution for the United States of America. In seeking to hold them accountable, I shall hold myself accountable to do the same. I renounce and condemn any and all initiation of violent force, and will pursue all lawful and constitutional means to fulfill my duty. I speak these words as an eternal record of the will of the people to be free. So for those of you who would like to join me, in full view of the Creator as my witness, in full view of the Creator as my witness, I hereby pledge to join with millions of Americans. I hereby pledge to join with millions of Americans to hold our elected and appointed officials accountable, to hold our elected and appointed officials accountable to their oath of office, to preserve, protect, and defend, the Constitution for the United States of America, the Constitution for the United States of America, in seeking to hold them accountable, I shall hold myself accountable to do the same. I shall hold myself accountable to do the same. I renounce and condemn any and all initiation of violent force, and will pursue all lawful and constitutional means, to fulfill my duty. I speak these words as an eternal record of the will of the people, to be free. Thank you.
The following elected